All right, hello. I am going to show you a very easy beginner tutorial on how to begin to crochet. The basics of how I teach it is you have two hands and you're trying to accomplish three things when crocheting. You are going to be holding your hook, you are going to be holding your yarn, and you are going to be holding your work. When I say your work, I mean the result of your crocheting, like what happens after you make your stitches, what you create, that's your work. And you need to hold that, your yarn that you're working with, and your crochet hook. How you hold your yarn, work, and hook, up to you. I've seen so many different ways of crocheting. I've seen people crocheting who don't even have two hands. I've seen people crocheting in ways that I don't even know how to replicate. So as long as you are doing those three things, that is for you to figure out and what's comfortable for you. But other than that, I will show you how I do it. I am using, if you're brand new to yarn and everything, there are different types of yarn. There are yarns, some as fine as thread. There are some as thick like this, like big bulky stuff. I'm working here in the middle. This is called medium weight yarn or worsted weight yarn. It's an acrylic. When you have a yarn, they will come with a label, and often it will tell you, most often it will show you what size your yarn is and what is the recommended hook size that you should use to go with it. So as long as you're using, to begin, this is my suggestion, a crochet hook that is comparable to the size that is recommended, you're going to have some ease of use there. So for me, the worsted weight was the easiest yarn to use when beginning crochet. And yeah, I'm just going to get into it and show you some basic things. The very first thing that you're going to need to do when you are going to begin crocheting is learn how to make a slip knot. Here's how I make mine. Here's my yarn. This is what you call the tail. It's the end. The rest of your yarn, the yarn that's connected to your ball or your skein, is called your working yarn. Here's how I make mine. I hold the tail of my yarn and I'm going to extend two fingers. I'm going to wrap the yarn this way, then come around, make an X, wrap it this way. Now, when I flip my hand over, I've got two loops. I'm going to bring the front one, the one that's closest to my fingertips, back towards my knuckles. That leaves this one. I'm going to grab this one, pick it up, remove my two fingers, and pull both ends. That is a slip knot. It's an adjustable knot that can be loosened or tightened. So if I pull one end, it makes the loop smaller. So that's what I'm doing. And now I'm adjusting it to my hook. The reason I'm doing this is so that, or the way that I'm doing this, I don't want it to be super duper tight and choke the hook out. I also don't want it to be too loose where I don't have any control. So I'm making it just big enough where it can move back and forth on my hook like that. Next thing we're going to do is make chains. This is just a basic tutorial. There are other ways to start projects, but this is the beginner, and here we go. So you've seen how I wrapped the yarn around my hands. When I first started crocheting, I held the yarn this way and then wrapped it around my finger this way and then held my work this way. But that made my hand a little tired, so I figured like a pulley system. This is how I do it. How you do those three steps, hold your yarn, hold your work, hold your hook, is up to you. For me, I figured a pulley system where I wrap around my pinky, then I create a lever for myself right here. I use my thumb and my middle finger to hold the work, and of course hold my hook in my right hand because I'm right-handed. The reason you have to hold your work is if you just hold your yarn and you make chains and you're not holding on to the result of what you're making, which will grow down here, then eventually the yarn and stuff will swirl around, twirl around, get all tangled up. Nobody wants that. It doesn't function. So Make sure to hold your work. For me right now, I'm just holding underneath this knot and I'm gonna start making chains. The way I do that is this. I've extended my yarn here so I can grab it. I'm going to use this crochet hook as if it's like a little hand, just grabbing stuff and doing what I want it to do. So I'm going to grab my yarn and pull it through the loop that's on the hook. And that there is a chain. I'm going to grab the yarn with the hook. For me, I have more control if I tilt it downward and pull it through. Grab the yarn, grab it by twisting the hook towards me and pull through. Each one of these are chains. Grab the yarn, pull through. Grab the yarn, pull through. Grab the yarn and pull through. You can chain all day if you want that, get some practice, make it comfortable, and that is your starting place. I'm gonna make a few more for the sake of this video. There we go, got a nice little row of chains. This is where we're going to begin crocheting, you guys. Woo! All right, so the first stitch I'm going to show you is called a single crochet. Single crochet. Now I'm in the United States, and so I use United States crochet terms. If you are speaking about crochet in other places, like in the UK or other parts of the world, single crochet won't mean what I'm about to show you. Double crochet won't mean what I'm about to show you. So these are United States terms. We're going to work into the chains that we made. I've got a loop here on my hook, and I've got a loop right here, well, a chain right here underneath it. I'm going to skip this chain. This one I am not going to work into. When I first started crocheting, one of the hardest things for me was being able to identify one chain or one stitch from the next. For me, the easiest way to tell what is a stitch, or what is a chain in this instance, I'm going to show you, is that they make a nice V shape. This is one chain. This is one chain. This is one chain. You can kind of differentiate. It looks like a braid. And so each like pinch together or cinch together area, like here, 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 those are each individuals. So I'll be skipping this very first one, and I'm going to insert my hook into the second one. Now, if you've seen me do other videos and shorts and reels and TikToks and stuff like that, I don't normally work into the front of a chain. For neatness purposes, I work into the back bump of the chain, but I can make another video about that. Right now, we're just doing very beginner stuff and making it super easy, okay? So skipping the first, I'm gonna insert the hook into the second chain. Okay, we on our way. Now I'm gonna grab the yarn with my hook and pull it through this chain. I now have 2 loops on my crochet hook, and I'm halfway there to making a single crochet. Now I'm going to grab the yarn with my crochet hook and pull it through both of these loops. And there we have it. We have crocheted. If you're following along, please congratulate yourself. You just crocheted. That's awesome. Let's do the same thing again. We're going to go into the very next. Another thing, let me just show you real quick. Another thing I used to have very much trouble with is being able to identify what was the next chain that I needed to work into. Because I've worked into this one and it's a little stretched out. It's hard to tell. But I couldn't tell, like, should I go back in here or is this the next one? Because things got a little misshapen. If you can tell where your crochet is, and the last one that got kind of stretched out was this one. This is the one you've worked into. This one still has its original V shape. So we're going there next. All right, and you see I'm holding my work to make sure I have control. I'm going to take my crochet hook and insert it into this next chain. Grab the yarn and pull up a loop. Now I'm holding this. See how I went and grabbed this for more control? I'm in charge of this thing, you know? So I'm making sure that I'm in control. I'm going to grab the yarn and pull it through both loops. And there is another single crochet. Let's do it a couple more times. Insert, grab the yarn, pull it through. Now you have two. Grab the yarn, pull through those two. Insert, grab the yarn, pull up a loop. Now you have two. Grab the yarn and pull through those two. This is a single crochet. This is a foundational type of stitch. You can make anything with it. Anything. Let's move on now to half double crochet. Half double crochet is a US term, and it goes as follows. We're going to do the same thing by inserting into these chains. However, before we insert into the chain, there's something different that we must do, and it's called yarn over. Yarn over simply means you're going to put the yarn over the hook first before you insert. Yarn over. For me, I hold it so I have control. I'm going to insert into my next chain. Grab a loop. Pull it through. Now I've got 3 loops on my hook. So this is not a single crochet, we're doing something bigger. For half double crochet, you will now grab the yarn and pull it through all 3 loops. Ta-da! Half double crochet! Done! Let's do it again. Yarn over. Insert. Pull through, grab the yarn, pull through all 3. I like half double crochet. It is how I make, well, not always, but it's often how I make my ribbed beanies. You can make blankets, you can make sweaters. It's a very versatile stitch, as most crochet stitches are. Let's do it a couple more times. Yarn over, insert, pull through, grab the yarn, pull through all 3. One more, yarn over, insert, grab yarn, well no, pull up a loop, grab yarn and pull through all 3. So you can see that half double crochet is slightly bigger than single crochet. If you can tell, these are a little taller than these. Let's keep going. The third and final stitch that I'm going to show you today. And please like this video, you guys, if you're enjoying this tutorial. If you want me to show you more things that I know about crochet. I'm a YouTube student. I learned to crochet on YouTube from YouTube videos just like this one. Well, not just like it, because, you know, I'm me and they're them, but still. I learned on YouTube, so hopefully you're doing the same thing. So give this video a like, please share it. Please subscribe. Welcome to Denise Nisia Coleman. I'm happy to be here showing you things that I love to do. So the next stitch I'm going to show you is called double crochet. Double crochet in the United States. Same thing like we did with half double crochet, yarn over first. This is going to be similar until about the very end. So yarn over and insert your crochet hook. pull through a loop. You've got 3 loops on your hook. Looks familiar. This is going to do a little differently though. I'm going to yarn over, pull through 2 loops only. Yarn over and pull through the last 2. And that is a double crochet. That is probably my favorite crochet stitch. It's so versatile. You can do so many different things with it. Slightly bigger, so it makes your projects go faster. And just easy to get into a rhythm and get a bunch of them done. So yarn over, insert into your chain, pull through a loop or pull up a loop, grab the yarn, pull through 2, grab the yarn, pull through 2. Again, yarn over, insert into your chain. I don't know why the chain always wants to become blurry. Insert into the chain, grab the yarn, pull up a loop, grab the yarn, pull through 2, grab the yarn, pull through 2, yarn over, insert, pull through a loop, grab the yarn, pull through 2, grab the yarn, pull through 2, yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. I got 2 more stitches or 2 more chains I'm going to work into. No, is it 2? Yep, see, it was hard to tell. 1 here and 1 here. And then I'm at my knot. And then I'm going to show you how to go on to your next row. And then that'll be it for this quick, easy beginner's tutorial. All right, so I've reached the end of my row. What do I do now? We're going to assume that when you're crocheting your project, all of your stitches are going to be the same height. But for this, you know, I'm not going to undo it just to show you this. I'm going to continue to work on this project. So I'm going to, depending on what stitches you're working, let me show you. Let's say I'm going to do now single crochet. So I need to chain up. Chaining up means giving myself the height that I need to start with. So if I'm going to do a single crochet, I can chain up 1 chain just to give myself a starting place. And now I'm going to turn my work around. See this right here? All right, I want to show you this. I need 2 hands. All right. How to identify your stitches. This was also very hard for me in the beginning. If you pull them apart a little bit, you can see the posts from your double crochets. And that's easy enough to identify. But what if you're working with half double crochet? They get a little harder to see. And single crochet, for me, back in the day, almost impossible to see. Another way to identify each stitch is to look at the top of it. The top of each one of your stitches has a V associated with it. So let's say this double crochet right here, when I finished it off and pulled through the last 2, it made this V for me. So this stitch, this V is associated with this stitch. Same here. This whole thing, including this V, is this double crochet. And this is part of this double crochet. I'm telling you that for a reason, because when you turn your work around, it looks a little different. And you might be like, well, what the heck? How do I know where I'm going to insert next? So I've chained up 1. Now, here's how you know where you're going to insert. If you're going to make a single crochet here, look at your V. You're not going into this V, you're going to go underneath it. So if you can identify the V, you can identify what's underneath it. Here's this hole right here. That's where you're going to insert. And make sure that your hook is underneath both legs of your V. Grab the yarn, pull it through, just like you're working in a chain. Grab the yarn, pull through both loops. Single crochet. go into the next stitch. This hole is underneath this, this hole is underneath this V. I'm gonna go in, grab my yarn. Ta-da! I'll do one more single crochet. Now you can see we're working back and forth. I'm gonna undo these. Here's something else awesome about crochet. Say you notice a couple stitches ago you might have skipped a stitch, or you put too many crochets in one stitch, or something looks jacked up. All you have to do is gently pull out every step, every little bump will undo itself until you want to go back to where you were. That's very, very convenient, especially when you're first starting out. All right, so I have gone back to my completed double crochet, the last one from the first row. I'm going to show you now how to continue on if I were to make a double crochet. A double crochet is a taller stitch. So how would I prepare for that? All right, so there are multiple ways to do this. I am a stickler for some neat crochet. But when I first started crocheting, my stuff was not neat, you guys. I mean, of course it wasn't, right? This came with time and practice. Once I started crocheting, crocheting became one of my absolute favorite things in the world to do, and still is. So I learned different ways to hone my techniques and make my projects look neat. That is not going to be the focus of this. This is a beginner video, right? So stick with me and I can show you later on neat tips and tricks, and you might have seen some stuff already, but for now it's getting it done. So let's say I want to continue on with double crochet. So I would chain up. Some people do 2, some people do 3. I like to do 2 because it makes less of a gap, and I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to go ahead and do 3 so I can show you what I mean. So I'm going to chain up 3 to give myself the starting height, because when I start crocheting double crochets along this way, they're going to be about this tall. So that's why I want to start out there. I'm going to turn this around. So if you're reading a crochet pattern or you're following a tutorial, some people will say your starting chain, this is a starting chain. Well, not this is a starting chain, but your chain up, your starting chain for that row. They might say, okay, this counts as your double crochet. Pay attention to stuff like that. I had no idea what that meant at first. So if they say this counts as a double crochet, that means do not crochet here, because this chain up, they are associating with this spot right here. If they say that your chain up does not count as a double crochet, then you will chain here, and basically this is just something you will ignore later on. I know that's a lot of information, but stuff you want to know so that you can do, right? You got to know so you can do. So for me, I'm going to say that this counts as a double crochet. Therefore, I'm going to put my next stitch here instead of here. So I yarn over and insert here. Pull up my loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Do it again. And one more for the sake of demonstration. I'm going to show you what I mean. See how I chained up 3, but it leaves like a little gap there? I don't like that. I don't like it. So for me, if you follow along, I will show you that usually I chain up 2. So I pulled out one of the chains, and that's where I'm going to start. Let's say I start, I'm still going to say this counts as a double crochet. So I'm going to go ahead and yarn over, insert into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. I'm repeating these things so that they sound familiar to you. It sounds like gibberish to somebody who doesn't know what I'm talking about. However, these are crochet terms. These are crochet words. These are things that if you are going to be a crocheter, that will make sense to you, and you'll be familiar and you'll know how to apply them. All right, so for me, I'm now showing you versus the chain up 3, this is a chain up 2, and it doesn't have as big of a gap there. To me, it looks more like, you know, it's in line. This one doesn't stick off and baggy on the side. So anyway, just want to show you that. So let's just crochet along to the end for fun. Hope you're following along with me. I'm glad to have you here. I truly, honestly am. On my channel, I talk about a lot of different things because I'm me and I'm not just crochet. I'm a woman on a healing journey. I sing for the Most High. I make jewelry. I have locks. I like to decorate them. You know, I talk about different stuff. I'm a mom. So, but I'm a woman who loves to crochet. Let's not get it twisted. So I've gotten some interest and people seem to appreciate what I've been showing. So I want to teach you the basics so that you can follow along with me, so that you can crochet too, and we can crochet together. Okay, that's what I love to do. Oh, here's something I want to show you. Counting your stitches in crochet is extremely, extremely valuable. I didn't count the bottom ones at first, but let's say, I don't know, let's say it's 15 of them. I would count these as well, just as a beginner to make, until I learn how to eyeball it a bit and know how many I've got. It's also a bit crooked because remember, these stitches are different sizes. But how do I know when I'm at the end? It looks like I'm at the end, kind of, right? But there's one more stitch right there. I can look down at it and see I've got a V. It's kind of a disguised because it's a single crochet and sometimes they're hard to tell. But I do know I have one more stitch there. So I'm going to go ahead and insert. Make sure I get under both legs of the V. And finish off my row. So that's just a little beginner come join along and crochet with me video for you. I really appreciate you guys watching. I really appreciate you guys watching and being here with me. I am so grateful for any attention that you give to me or what I'm doing, my projects, my channel. Like I said, please do like, please do subscribe, and let me know if you want to see more content like this, because I do a lot and I'm going to continue to share a lot. But if this is something that is your zhuzh, let me know, because it's mine too. So take care and thank you so much. Love y'all. Bye.